I heard that.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Me love you long time.
Did you make this sign? Did you make this sign?
No, I bought that.
Did you like create it online and then they have the name or whatever?
Yeah.
You'll have to send me because I want to add a steel sign like that in my room.
Yeah, it's actually it was like I sent them my idea and they were in China. I didn't even know they were in China until I bought it. Mm-hmm. And they sent it to me, but it was an ad I was getting on Instagram. So we're recording right now, but it's all good. It's gonna be super casual.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got an ad on Instagram, and then I just talked to them and told them my idea, and they did it like first proof. I was like, yep, perfect.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah, and you've probably seen, I kind of like the whole graffiti vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on my van, it's everywhere.
I like it.
So anyways, that turned out. Okay, let me see. I think you're kind of like on the edge of the frame.
Yeah, I'll scoot forward.
Well, you can move back. Actually, you move back and like get a little further, and then
Is this how far? Okay.
Yeah, we're perfect.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. All right, so abs of steel fitness.
Yes.
Is what? Why don't you tell me and tell everybody out there, like, what your deal is, what you do?
Yeah, so I am an online health and fitness coach. That's like my main income. I do a lot of social media, TikTok, Instagram, get a lot of my clients from there. I launched about a year ago, and basically I just have my clients, I train them, I give them, training plans. So they use an app where they get customized workout plans in the gym, that stuff, and then nutrition as well. So they track their macros, things like that. And then always turn in like their weekly check-ins, things like that. So I just coach them up.
Do you have a platform for all of this?
No. So like I use different apps.
I never even thought about that. But yeah. So you're telling them different apps to use.
Yeah. So it's like my own business, but then I'm assigning them different apps. So the main thing I use is
abs of steel fitness.
Yes.
Is what? Why don't you tell me and tell everybody out there, like, what your deal is, what you do?
Yeah, so I am an online health and fitness coach. That's like my main income. I do a lot of social media, TikTok, Instagram, get a lot of my clients from there. I launched about a year ago, and basically I just have my clients, I train them, I give them, training plans. So they use an app where they get customized workout plans in the gym, that stuff, and then nutrition as well. So they track their macros, things like that. And then always turn in like their weekly check-ins, things like that. So I just coach them up.
Do you have a platform for all of this?
No. So like I use different apps. I
never even thought about that. But yeah. So you're telling them different apps to use.
Yeah. So it's like my own business, but then I'm assigning them different apps. So the main thing I use is Trainerize. So I pay for a subscription I have all my clients under, and then I can create workouts, they can track their macros, all that.
So you have one hub to interact with your clients?
Yeah.
But then they have different apps for their macros and this and that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I actually use WhatsApp for like a communication channel. Okay. And then they use Trainerize for like tracking macros, their nutrition, their training, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you launched a year ago?
Yeah, in January 1st.
What do you mean by you launched?
So I started like taking on clients. Actual like my LLC started then.
Okay.
Actually like just put in for my LLC and got it so that I could use it as
write-offs
now you have
for
this
LLC.
Year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But before that,
just so you know, you can go back in time too.
Yes, for this year.
And if you need a good CPA, I've got one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I actually have
because that's critical in business.
Yeah. I have one because I actually have a business mentor. So he like supplies me with, CPAs, lawyers, stuff like that, all the
good.
connections. So,
Yeah. Well, a CPA is somebody that you should vibe with too. It's very important that you get a CPA that you guys see eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a CPA where you're like telling her or him, this is what I want to do in life, and they don't kind of feed you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a good idea. You should have a CPA that like roots you on and is like telling you what to do and helping you. That's very critical in life. I just want you to know that. Like I've had a subpar CPA for a long time. Actually, I've had it a couple times. And I didn't spend the time trying to find the right person. A CPA should be like a spouse, really. I mean, it's almost like this vetting process that's worth putting into, because they can guide you in all kinds of avenues in business. You know what I mean? Yeah. Investments, saving taxes, and that. So, anyways, I always have too much to say, and I gotta work on that.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah. So just a little nugget.
Yeah.
So one thing that I wanted to talk to you about was recently you did a post that was, and maybe you've done it before, but you said something about you've gained 50 pounds, and that's like, is that from like your start to now, or in the last couple of years, or like what? Is that right? 50 pounds?
Yeah. Since I think like 2020, around 2020, I got to like 88 pounds, and now I'm like 135.
So is 88 pounds, was that your like high school weight?
So I actually was like 115 my freshman year of high school, and then I got down to like 88 pounds
really?
Sophomore, junior year. Yeah. Because of my whole like hormone disorder and all of that jazz. Yeah. So I can go.
You have an extraordinary, like
a long story.
And I want to hear some of it because I've never heard of it.
Really?
So, I never. Yeah. I don't know the whole story. You know what I mean? I don't know the outs, But I think that when I do this and I share it, I'd like to take some photos of the before and afters of you. Mm-hmm. And I think it's an extraordinary accomplishment. You must feel amazing. Yeah. Do you look in the mirror and feel amazing?
Oh yeah.
That's dope.
Comparative, yes. Yeah.
Because everybody has some sort of body dysmorphia. Everybody does. Yeah, even people that are fit, they want to be fitter, right? Yeah. But if you're at all in a level of like very skinny or very fat, right? And then to get where you want to be, that's a win. Yeah. I mean, even if that's all you have for the rest of your life, that's a massive win.
Yeah. And I think we talked about this before, like, everybody thinking, oh, just because you're skinny, like you had it easier, or, because I was fat and it was way harder for me because I was fat. And like, that's literally not the case at all. It goes both ways.
And they look at you right now and just think you've just always been like that. People don't know 5 years ago, Abby. Yeah. And know how hard you worked.
Yeah. And I'll get more into the story, but it's interesting talking to women that are like postmenopausal or dealing with hormones, and they say like, oh, well, you wouldn't know, you don't understand what I'm going through. It's so funny because I'm like, no, I actually know exactly like what you're going through.
So was there a secret sauce? Was there an actual like, boom, that was it?
Yeah, so I'll kind of go back and give you the story. So it started when I was like 115 in freshman year. I was a competitive gymnast. I went to practice from like 4 to 8 every single day. Like I was working out a lot, eating a lot, very healthy, had a good childhood and everything like that. And then like sophomore, junior year, I started dropping weight, changed nothing. Like I was eating the same, I was working out the same, like going to gymnastics the same. And went to the doctors. I was like, I lost like 10 pounds in 1 year. And the doctors were like, no, like that's normal. Like you're active, you're young. My mom was like, I don't think that's just normal to just like all of a sudden, not changing anything. So, and at this point, I still didn't have a period. And I was like 16, 17 years old. So you should have your period by then.
The kids are going to hate me for saying this, but they are around the same age. Because they were 17? Super athletic.
Yes. Yeah. So like when you're lower in body fat,
and athletic.
You can start later. But so that's the time they should be looking at like, okay, you should have had it by now. We should start looking at like what's going on. But at that point, he's just like, no, like just keep going along with your life. And I went back like a whole year later. I lost like another. It was crazy.
Wow,
I lost like 20 pounds within like 16 months. Like it was insane. And it didn't change anything with my diet, with working out, and automatically they were like, okay, something's wrong with you. Obviously now they listen. And like sent me to a whole bunch of different doctors. They couldn't find anything in my blood work. They're like, yeah, we don't know. Like and all they could come up with was you're anorexic, because we can't find anything in your blood work that's telling us like it's wrong. So you must just not be eating enough. Like you're lying to your parents. You're lying. And my parents were like, no, like she eats a lot. She eats a ton. I was very healthy, but I did eat a ton. Like, and that's the time where I really got into calories. I started learning about human physiology and just how our body works, how to gain weight, calories, protein, like all the things. I did so much research, and I was like, no, it doesn't matter if you're eating healthy versus unhealthy. It literally matters about calories. If you're eating more than what you're expending, you should be gaining weight. If you're eating less, then you should be losing weight. It's not about healthy versus unhealthy. That does not, you should, you know what I mean? Like your body operates off of better nutrition.
You were in a calorie surplus though, for sure.
Oh yeah. I was
still losing weight.
Yeah. I was 88 pounds. And when you're 88 pounds, you just don't burn as many calories as a person that weighs 150 pounds.
Because the muscle mass.
Yeah. And I was eating over 3K calories a day. 3,000 calories. It was like 3,500. I would eat so much, like my stomach. I now have gut issues because of what I was doing 4 years ago. I was just shoving a bunch of food in my face, trying to gain weight. Wasn't working. I would like lose. It was insane. Like I was like, what is wrong with me? Finally, a doctor did find, they're like, I don't know why they didn't test for this. Wasn't secreting estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, like all my sex hormones. So it's basically like I missed puberty somewhere in there. It's like I was 18 years old, didn't have a period, was 88 pounds. He's like, you could eat as much as you want and exercise none, and you would not gain weight because, you know, you don't have the proper hormones. So he sent me to another doctor, like more of a specialist, and they started me on hormone therapy right away. Right away, I started gaining weight.
Really?
Like, literally like within a week. It was like a pound, 2 pounds. I was like, oh. And I was like so happy at that moment because I was like, see, I'm not crazy. Because I kept telling people, no, not anorexic. No, I know what I'm doing. And it was kind of like an egotistical thing. When people are like, well, why don't you just have like ice cream? Why don't you have a sandwich? I think that made me that made me so mad that I was like, no, I'm going to gain weight eating salads and watch me. And so like that made me really happy that I was like, I did gain weight eating salads, because guess what? It's not about, you know, like eating a burger is going to make you gain weight. Like that's not always the case. So that's kind of where it started. That saying
when people are like, you need to eat a cheeseburger.
It's terrible. Yeah. Because they're pushing their own insecurities on you.
It is. I hear it all the time. Yeah. People at work say it to me all the time.
Yeah. I know.
You can afford to eat that. I just blow it off. But so you have to constantly be on hormone treatment now?
Yeah. So right now where I'm at is
your thyroid's fine, because I that have to do with doesn't have a lot to do with a lot of that stuff.
Your sex hormones are like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Those are like your main sex hormones, and like your hormones in general, like all relate to each other. So yeah, my thyroid is a little bit off. So I am taking some medication to help with that, so that everything's kind of working a little bit better. So right now where I'm at, it's tough because it's like, yeah, I did gain the weight. However, like we're not totally sure if we found the answer, because we don't know if it's a condition I was just born with and just presented itself then and there. And now I am still taking hormone therapy. Is it like a thing where I'll have to be on this for the rest of my life? Or is it something where like maybe it was just a really stressful period in my life where everything was happening, I just lost a bunch of weight, and those were all around puberty, and now I can get my period back? Because that's the problem. Like I don't have a menstrual cycle without hormone therapy. I have to, and that's the main issue. My weight's totally fine now. It's all about like, can I maintain a regular cycle without hormone therapy? And that's never been the case ever. So it's a really tricky balance right now. We're trying to figure out like, is it lifestyle factors? Is it, who knows? But I have a hard time believing that, because I do treat, I'm very good about recovery, working out, eating, you know, so
it's like everything should be dialed, right?
Yes.
For your natural everything. You're doing everything right, so
Mhm.
everything should be. So it's obviously you're needing that
Yeah.
supplementation
Yeah.
still, huh?
And it's interesting because
I wonder if it'll kind of fade off.
yeah,
You know,
you would think
your body
because
builds up this.
maybe it was
it
just
knows.
that
It gets the memo somehow. Our bodies are freaking nuts.
Yeah, maybe it was
Can I
that.
see this thing real quick? Is your light on? I worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah, it's green.
All right.
All good.
When I get professional someday, I'll have like an extra camera. Because I've seen this one guy that was podcasting. He goes, always have two cameras rolling. You would hate to end a podcast and go to listen to it,
and it was turned off.
Yeah, your mic or something screwed up. So I keep tripping on that. I'm like, is this me?
I know.
Going?
I know.
But me and Rob did like a 1 hour podcast, and everything went the distance.
That's good. Yeah. Do you have a camera? Do you have like a nice camera?
No.
I'm about to get one. Nice camera for like content and stuff. So I'll let you know.
Let me know. Because I'm going to be in the market for all this stuff. So right now, the next step is I'm going to be vetting some local kind of content guys, right? Mm-hmm. Not sure if you've heard of Huntington Films. He's a local guy. He does a lot of like drone videos. Does big productions for like big companies, parties and stuff like that. I don't know. He does a lot of stuff. I just came across him. Anyways, he's going to come here in a couple of days. And I'm going to show him what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Yeah. And hopefully he will be like, okay, this is what you need. You need to get this camera, these mics. This is because I want to do it right. It's just I can't. I mean, that's working right now. Yeah. It's fine. But I definitely want that extra factor where if this dies or all of a sudden somebody calls me, that's what I'm worried about right now. Yeah. What if somebody starts calling me? What's it going to do?
Though. You just stop it, play it again.
But I didn't get my shit together, Abby. That's all there is to it.
No. You do.
But I like to have a little bit of a success story. Yeah. I can't just come in hot and be full professional guy, right? Yeah. Because then I just look, privileged. Yeah. So we got to show some struggle. We're on the iPhone Adversity. 12. Yes. Look at that tripod. I mean,
you're doing better than I. I don't even have a tripod, dude. I don't even have a tripod. I just set it up on rigs at the gym. So
this whole little kit was $25.
Oh, cute.
Anyways, so are you still doing First Form Legionnaire or whatever?
Yeah, I am. So that's actually how I got started in health and fitness, or coaching wise. I started as a Legionnaire. I was like, I don't even know what this is, but I'm going to go with it. And it ended up.
It does lead you to that, right? It leads you to that lifestyle.
Yeah, they're awesome. They help me so much. I still have a one-on-one coach, so I get commission off of if you clicked on my link or anything like that, and then. Also, what I learned from them, it's a lot. They're really about education and learning and teaching, and so they taught me a lot about what I know about nutrition. It's so funny because I was doing this while I was in college, and I got my bachelor's in exercise science. But in my opinion, I learned so much more from them, about nutrition, supplementation, coaching people through the app. That's what I did, and it built up so many skills. I learned so much, and then that just transferred to my own business and. They just keep helping me out from there.
It's funny how you can learn more in a setting like that, so much more than a college type of setting. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like dealing with real life people with their boots on the ground versus this teacher that's every year telling her students the same things. Yeah. Those kind of things don't really sink in. You get bored, right? Yeah. So a lot of it's your attention span.
That and motivation to do honestly, it was motivating that because I did get more money from First Form and then I learned more and I was motivated to learn more through that. Right. It is funny. Yeah. I'm glad I did it. It was a good learning experience. Glad I got my degree because it still looks good. Yeah.
So, whenever you're learning anything, it's good to have those references. I learned from college or this person, and then this person told me this. Because then I'm going to let that go. I didn't like the way they taught me or what they said. Yeah. But you have to have those two inputs to know what Abby's gonna
Yeah.
put out, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
learning from different avenues or people or whatever is always good,
Yeah. No.
Never
yeah,
a
that's
waste,
good.
you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was thinking about just a little bit ago before you came. I was like, when did I meet Abby? And I think I actually met you at CrossFit. I think that's when we officially met.
Yeah. From
right?
Aubrey and Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did they know you?
Sultana.
You did.
School.
You went to Sultana?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But
Oh, wow.
I feel like we knew each other before. But
Okay.
maybe
Yeah,
not.
they did know you. That's right.
Maybe I think it was from high school, and then it turned out I was like, wait, I didn't know that you guys went to CrossFit, and then.
And I do remember seeing you at the gym. You probably don't remember.
Yes,
but I remember seeing you at the gym
when I like broke my wrist
in Spring Valley Lake.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember when I broke my wrist and you kept being like, "Yeah, I broke."
Oh, that's
whatever.
right. Yeah, you did. And I remember, honestly, when you were thin.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend you and say the word thin,
no,
but
trust me.
when you were thin, I remember being in that gym, and I think you were deadlifting like 135.
Yeah. No, I
was like, holy shit. Because at the time, that's all I was doing. I hated working out like with weights. Yeah. That's why I had to join CrossFit, because that's the only way I could work out.
Really?
Yeah, I'm super lazy when it comes to weights.
Yeah.
I like to go running or ride my dirt bike. I'm like super like cardio guy naturally. So, which, and that doesn't work well for like the dad bod. And I was dad bodded out, and I was like, dude, I got to kill this gut. And I had a friend that was doing CrossFit in his mid 40s, and he got a 6-pack like that.
Really?
And I did too when I started.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing you, and I was impressed. I was like, dang, how is she lifting that? And you were strong.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing you at Cross, and you were still thin, of course, because it was around the same time frame.
Yeah.
But in the last couple of years, you've been just clicking it off.
Yeah. No, it's so interesting, because even I'll look back on videos and be like, how did I was back squatting more than I had knee surgery 2 years ago, so that doesn't help things. Like squats are not.
That was another big setback too, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's still a
little bit, or is it
a little bit? It can. I have a lot of like muscle imbalances.
I can't believe that's already been 2 years.
Yeah, more than 2 years. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, because I just like different muscle imbalances is actually a little bit hard because of my hormones, because they're not operating correctly.
Yeah.
And so the recovery process took a lot longer, in my opinion, because of like if you don't have enough estrogen, that helps you heal. So that was causing me not to heal properly. So anyways, like when I'll look at videos, I was like 90 pounds back squatting like 175. Really? I could not believe. Yeah, now I'm like, I can barely do that.
That's crazy, huh?
It is. It's crazy. I don't know.
You think you'd be like double that, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, there's other things that I'm way strong. It's just literally squats. I hate squats. But but it's interesting. Me and my mom were just having this conversation about like where I was at. People were always like, "Oh, well, your energy must have been so low. Like you must have felt like crap." And it's like,
because they think you're not. Your nutrition's low.
Yeah, I wasn't. And it's funny because it's like, no, actually, like I was really strong. I had a lot of energy. I was eating really well. And like it was probably because I was treating my body the way it should have. But if I were to just say like, oh, whatever, I'll eat whatever, like it probably would have not been that way. So yeah.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Super proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're on the right trajectory.
Thank you.
So have you ever do you ever go to those summer bashes that First Form has?
Oh my gosh, I want to so bad.
Have you met Andy Frisella?
I did not like meet him, but I was like working out with him basically. I went to HQ,
like in the
gym,
HQ, and everybody's kind of working out.
I like earned a weekend there, and they flew me out, and I stayed there. We like worked out, and like a couple of like the First Form athletes I got to meet and stuff like that. He was in the gym, and I was like too scared.
Kind of starstruck.
He was also he's like in his workout, and I'm not about to go up to him in his workout. But it was really cool. You watch a lot of Andy Frisella or listen to him?
Dude, I want to give a shout out to Andy Frisella. He's been big in my life for sure. So you know his MFCEO,
Yeah.
MFCEO, was that
Podcast?
it? Podcast?
Yeah.
I listened to all that. I've been listening to Andy Frisella for 10 years, dude.
Yeah.
And he's grinded in my head. And then, Real AF and all that. But
Yeah.
I've been on a Andy Frisella fast for a little bit right now, just because I've heard
so much.
I've grinded. A lot of all that like self-discipline, all that stuff, I'm fasting for right now because I need a break.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go so hard.
Yeah.
And I went so hard in the last couple of years with just pounding in the mindset. And it got to me one day. I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, I know I am who these guys talk about being, and I do this and I do that. I need a break. I need a vacation from this crap.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? It's like the more disciplined people, the people that probably don't need to hear it are the ones listening to that stuff on repeat. That's what my mom is always like, you're the type of person like you don't need to be listening to that, but you are listening to it.
And I told myself I didn't even really say a time frame, but I already got back to it. Like I think I took like a week off.
Yeah.
And because I want to stay sharp. Especially like when it comes to certain podcasts, that have a lot to do with real estate investing. Mm-hmm. You have to keep your head in that game, right? Yeah. Any game, you want to be really good at fitness and being a nutritionist.
Yeah,
you got to keep your head in the game.
Yeah,
you don't use it, you lose it, right? So, anyways, sometimes you got to step away from that stuff, and I was pretty hardcore Andy Frisella guy, but I do give him props, and I don't buy enough of his products to support him. I need to.
Yeah, click on my link.
Yep, I need to click on your link. You're right. When I do it, I'll support you and him.
Good. Yes, you will. Yeah. No, I love them too. At first, I heard it. I was like, it's a little bit aggressive.
Right.
But then then you get used to it, and then it's like kind of funny, honestly. Yeah. Like the way, like sometimes he cusses like all the time, and it actually is so funny. Yeah. Like I'm like just dying. I'm like, you are great. Like that's honestly so true. Like,
it's hard to get women to listen to that podcast. Yeah. Because he's such a profound person.
Unless you're like an entrepreneur
unless you're an entrepreneur and you're a certain political that you could withstand him. But I sent that to a family member once. And I thought she would take to it, and she was like, "Oh my God, that was horrible." I was like, "Yeah, I should have known," but I tried.
Yeah.
Let me look at my little notes here. My little Abby.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're living in Huntington or Newport?
So I was living in Huntington for about a month, and then I got into a car accident.
It happened down there?
Yes, literally a month after, totaled my car. So then I moved to.
You totaled it.
Yeah, but I got all the money from it, so there you go.
And you're living without it.
Yeah, so I actually made a lot of money off that crash.
Did you?
Yeah.
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 What kind of car was it?
Like a 2022 Toyota Corolla. It was very new.
Yeah, 2022. Wow.
It was very nice though. Like when I crashed, it was great. All the airbags went off. It was really bad. I was fine. I think it's because people say like, when you get in car accidents, you tense up. That's when you really get hurt.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on. So when it happened, I was like, I just got hit. I was like, what? And all the airbags went off. It was crazy. And then the stereo was like, ma'am, are you okay? Do you need emergency assistance? Yeah, like an actual girl got on the phone. And I was like, I don't know. Some guy.
An actual person got on the phone?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
And then the guy pulled me out. I was like not talking to the girl. The guy was like, she's fine, I think. Like, don't send an ambulance. I was like, oh, thanks for saying that because obviously that would have cost. I was fine. It was definitely the grace of God because I was totally fine. Like nothing was hurt. They're like, how are you? Because my whole car crashed, smashed in. It was bad.
Did you crash with somebody else?
No.
I mean,
yeah. I was in the left-hand lane, turning left, and I yielded. No one was there, but it was really busy, so it was a little bit of a blind turn. Like I can't see everything, and when I looked, there was no one there. But a guy, in my opinion, it was his fault because he sped up.
He sped up and then tried to dart out.
Yeah, he sped up, trying to go faster than I could, and then he hit me. I mean, I guess I hit him. Who knows? We both hit
Right.
each other, but it was my fault because I was the one yielding, turning left, and he had the right of way.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, but it's
Gotcha.
okay. Everything's okay.
Yeah, you're
car
okay.
Car troubles are not. Yeah,
Cars aren't
are
your
not,
thing, or what?
I guess they're not. Yeah, I guess I was just meant to walk everywhere, which is okay.
Hey, that's great when you live down there.
Yeah.
You
So
know, like,
I work at Chalk Performance. Have you ever heard? Have you heard of Ryan Fisher? I feel like you have.
mm,
I'll show you a video. You've probably heard of him, but he's like a CEO of our gym. It used to be CrossFit, but now it's like not technically CrossFit. It's very CrossFit-y. But I work at the front desk a little bit,
they
and I
just don't
coach.
call it CrossFit.
They don't call it CrossFit, but it's literally
Scares
CrossFit.
people away, I think.
That and yes, I think mostly that.
Yeah.
There's like not.
You get a broader
kind of
demographic.
dying, though, too.
You get a broader demographic if you don't call it CrossFit, I think.
And it's kind of dying. CrossFit.
Yeah,
it's getting less popular. People.
It is. You know, you say that. It does seem that way.
It is. It's getting. Yeah. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people are afraid to work hard.
Yeah, I think people are scared of the name too.
Yeah.
So you don't understand that you can modify, you can make it easier.
Yeah, they do, 100%. I tried going to a regular gym, and I have ADHD. I need people around to motivate me.
Yeah.
If I go to the gym, I'm just like everybody else. I'll be on, a squat rack just on my phone or something.
Yeah.
And so it's just CrossFit's been great for me. Yeah. I can't stop. I'm gonna go my whole life, even though I'm sore than shit and
I know
can't walk most of the days. But I tell myself it's keeping me going. You know,
it's addicting. It really is.
Addicting. It's fun. And if you look at my first 2025 goal, it's to get more jacked.
Yeah.
I mean,
why not?
I'm turning 47, dude. Like, my abs kind of went away.
You look so young for 47.
My abs went away a little bit, and it kind of pissed me off. So I'm like, all right, I need to get my abs back.
Yeah.
But
just go to CrossFit more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to CrossFit more.
Yeah. No, it is. It's funny because it's addicting. Because part of the whole hormone thing is like they say high intensity is not great for your hormones, right? Because that's a stress on your body when your body's already stressed out. Yeah, like that's a good stressor. However, like that much of like high intensity, especially when you do it every day, is not great for especially women. Yeah. Men's hormones can withstand a lot more stress. And you'll be fine. Yeah. The girls are their hormones are a little bit more sensitive. So that's what they say. For me, they're like, well, you should back off a little bit. And I definitely have. I used to do CrossFit like every single day. Yeah. Now I'm pretty good about 3 times a week. Like the other days I'm focusing more on strength training and walking, which I do think that's a good balance. Like think it's good. Especially when I feel like I'm more injury prone too. I feel like I get hurt doing everything. So sometimes when that happens, you have to take a step back and look at things. So
yeah. Right. Yeah. I hear you. So what's been, this is your first time moving out, right?
After college. Yeah. Cause I
college. I forgot.
Tennessee, so.
What do you miss about living at home versus don't miss?
Oh, that's a good question.
Remember, your mom's gonna watch this.
I know. She definitely is. She definitely is. I would say I miss things like dinner being easy. Like coming home, what are we having for dinner?
My kids have it so easy too.
Yeah.
They got it licked.
I know
because licked too, huh?
They just
the nice mom meal.
Actually, it's my dad. My dad
your dad
does all the cooking. Yeah, because my mom when she went back to be a teacher, my dad's like, I'm gonna take over the cooking and the same things on repeat, but it's okay.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. That's
funny. How I am too.
Yeah,
I have a
stick to the stuff you like.
Yeah, and it's always got meat. Everything's got to be ground beef or steak. Or that's how I roll.
That's good. Yeah, I know. It is interesting because coaching clients that maybe didn't have that experience where they grew up in a home where they didn't have the healthiest meals. Yeah. Maybe their parents didn't even cook for them, and they said you have to eat whatever, order out. It's good to see and look back and be like, okay, that is a really great thing I had. You know, some people don't have that, and it does carry with them. People don't even know how to cook ground turkey on the stove, which it takes one step to do. So
100%. I think about my kids and how me and Jennifer have always eaten, and they got raised to eat healthy the whole life. And I didn't adopt that until like in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was still trying to break the way I was raised. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
eating a big old bowl of cereal at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's how my generation grew up, and
Yeah.
a lot of generations. But
yeah, it's tough because I do have that kind of mentality where it's like, you know, get over it. Like you can like do whatever you want, or like, you know, like as a coach, I had to step back and be like, hey, be more understanding. These people didn't have it as good as you, and like that
it's a little harder for them to break. It's very hard for people to break
habits like that. Yeah,
eating habits, and I have to remember that I was there too, because it's been so long since I've defeated those obstacles eating wise. It's been a long time, but I remember trying to get to where like I could eat a sandwich without cheese or without mayo, because that's what I had to do. I had to start dropping off calories, right? You don't need a slice of cheese. You don't need mayo.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need butter all the time, right? So I'd eat a piece of bread with no, you know, all these little things.
Yeah.
They're all little wins, right? But it takes a time. And then I learned how to fast. And I liked fasting a lot. And sometimes when I go on a bulking mode, right, where I'm like, okay, I've got a little too thin. I need to eat more. It's hard to even eat more. Yeah. And then I got used to eating more, right? And I'm kind of in that phase right now. I'm transitioning back to lean. And this has been happening for 5 years, right? Yeah. Bulk, lean, bulk, lean. When I say bulk, I mean 5 pounds. For me. That's a lot. That's a little bit, yeah. But the same way. It's every time it's hard to adapt to my new ways. And
your body
eating is everybody. Food is a good thing. Tastes good. It's even if it doesn't taste good, it's a programming in your head, right? Like, okay, this is what time I eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I like the fasting thing. Is that if I intermittent fast, then I lose the schedule of eating. I do like a 16-hour fast every other day. Yeah. So then I don't have this set time to eat. Yeah. And it keeps my calorie count.
Yeah. That's
hard to get the protein, but you just got to do high calorie when you eat high calorie. Yeah, protein shake with everything that you do. But anyways, so what's Abby's next big thing in life?
The next big thing. Well,
do you have a 2025 or something in the next couple of years that you're aiming for?
I need to be really good about
just growing your business. Setting.
But yeah, really that's like kind of the main priority right now. I really want to work, especially 2025, like scaling my business. Yeah. I don't know if we're talking about like money here.
No, we're not talking about money.
Okay. Well,
no, I mean, we're just talking about money. A goal. Yeah.
Partly money. I mean,
money comes with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, like money's correlated with how many people you're helping as well. So, but like that's a big goal, is just to scale it a lot higher and then have more systems in place. Like I want to hire on a virtual assistant to help me like manage my social media and stuff like that. I'm going to start like running ads, boosted posts and stuff like that to reach more people. Because right now that's like kind of the bottleneck, is just getting more leads, getting more people to flow through my social media. Sometimes like it's just really tough to have more eyes. Like even if your content is pretty good.
This is something that everybody is needing to look at when it comes to running their business, is where can I implement AI? Yeah. And that's like a real strategy that everybody needs to have. And I think that when you put the effort, it's one of those things that, you got to put the effort in and nobody wants to do it, right? Because we're just robotic humans. But if you find that there's so many AI tools nowadays, and I hear this in my podcast I listen to, where these guys are like, dude, I use AI for that. I use it. They're talking to another guy in their podcast, I use AI for that. And I'm like, what? You use AI for something that you wouldn't think you could use AI for. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it's speeding up the business processes everywhere.
Oh yeah.
It's getting so big, and the next couple of decades, it's going to be ridiculous.
I know. It's a little scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is. But I've definitely been using ChatGPT a little bit more now. I used to be like so against that. I was like, no, I don't know how to use that. But then someone the other day,
use it when you can. You
know? Yeah. Well, I think I was just like, whatever. I didn't know how. And someone literally showed me how to, like, you could talk to it like it is a human. So you talk to it like a human. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's so cool.
I've never used it, but I've seen people use it.
Oh yeah,
I've seen people use it to write emails and stuff like that. I think it's great.
It's been very,
I think
very helpful. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, like what you can get now in such a short amount of time, whereas like 50 years ago would take you months and months to figure out. But right now you can figure it out in 10 seconds. It's pretty insane. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So let me think. Okay. So when it comes to fitness, I guess fitness is a big thing to me. Like it rolls over into your life, right? What do you think about fitness has rolled into your professional life that you think is like a key thing that you'll always do? You see what I'm saying? What value of working out is it?
Yeah. That's a good question. It's funny because it's very big in my life, right? Like I love, not only personally do I love doing it, it's like a place where I found community, friends, and stuff like that, like my me time. But then also like it's my job, so I help other people do it and stuff like that. So it is. I'm not gonna lie, it's very convenient having it both ways, right? Like me doing it on my personal time is also helping me with my business, and like vice versa.
Right.
So that's like, I'm blessed to say the least that is the case, right? Like a lot of people's jobs don't overlap like that, and it's a very hard thing to kind of work into their schedule. So that's amazing. But you know, like as far as like morals and teaching me lessons and stuff, like so much, I would say
it's like everything.
Like everything. Literally, I'll you know, think of something in my mind, like I'll hear, you know, a self-development book just, you know, talk about. I'm reading The Slight Edge right now. Have you ever? It's a good book. I just started reading.
That was one of my questions was what books, you know, would you recommend?
Yeah. Well, I just started it, but it is very good. But I don't know. They made some analogy that I can't even remember what it was. But every like single analogy, I think like working out, like consistency, like when. Let's think about like progressive overload, for example. Like what is progressive overload? The principle that, you know, in order to grow muscle, you have to over time systematically add a little bit of load, add a little bit of reps, or you won't change. Like like you won't grow your muscle unless you challenge your muscle and give it that stimulus to grow. And if you don't do that, you'll remain the same. But
I think that's my problem.
In working out and just growing muscle.
I can't put on muscle because I don't have that consistent progressive overload.
I mean that's really important, progressive overload, and then also nutrition, making sure just keeping track of all of the data is like super important. But
it takes a commitment.
But going back to like the whole progressive overload thing, like you can literally apply that to anything else in your life, right? Like if you're reading 10 pages a day every single day, like okay, that will add up, but you're reading the same thing. You're never going to grow. If you're, you know, if you're wanting to expand your, you know, your patience and your knowledge in that setting, well, you should work on maybe reading 11 pages tomorrow or 12 pages tomorrow. Like you can apply that literally in anywhere in your life. So I think that's a huge thing, but you can apply so many different things.
Like you just said, you can apply so many different things. And I think one thing that stands out to me, and that you have it as well, but it's just inclusive to everything that you're talking about, but is look at where you're at right now versus 5 years ago, right? And now you know it took you 5 years to get where you're at, right? And this is what taught me patience was fitness. Because up until honestly 40, if I didn't get anything within a very short amount of time, I was not in the long haul for anything. I really haven't. And once I got to like a body level and I just consistently stayed at it, I'm just like, what's like now I look at everything like what's 5 years? If I can start something today and be where I want to be in 5 years, I'm in. I'm in. Where before I would be like 5 years, what? That's how I used to think. But now I'm like, oh, even 10 years. Okay, I'm gonna plant these seeds for something so when I hit 55, I've got this, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing that fitness teaches you that, and you may not
Yeah.
even realize it, where you're like, oh yeah, my kids already have like a long view of things where they're in their 20s and they're already like got a 5-year and a 10-year idea of how things are going to shape up. I did not have that. I didn't have any influences like me either, really.
Yeah.
But I did not have that patience.
Yeah. Like
fitness is big for a lot of things.
Yeah. It's like the instant gratification. Like everybody in this world, everybody thinks that, you know. That's why, like, honestly, attaching a goal, like, for example, if you wanted to lose 5 pounds of body fat, right? If you're like, that's all I want, to lose 5 pounds of body fat. But if you're attaching that so much to like your worth, and you like, that's your reason why you want to show up to the gym, honestly, it doesn't work for a lot of people, because you're going to work out. Okay. That's going to make you feel good, but you're also going to be like, oh, well, you know, slightly, I didn't lose 5 pounds today. Like, I went to the gym, but I didn't lose 5 pounds. And if you're so strongly thinking about that, then like, you'll never get anywhere. You'll lose motivation, like everybody says, and it won't happen. You won't stay consistent. So I think it's important to just kind of, like you said, like, fall in love with the process, like have a good idea.
Just know it's going to take time.
It's going to take time.
Yeah.
But fall in love like with what you're doing each and every day. That is how you'll stay consistent and disciplined. Like, you're not going to fall in love with, oh, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. Like, if you keep thinking that, you know, it will feel like forever, right? Yeah. But if you're, you know, putting in the action every single day, that's a huge part of it too. So
you just have to stop at one point with delayed gratification, be like, no more today. And then you start planting the seeds for delayed gratification. And then you start getting that pretty much gratification every day, because you planted the seeds back here, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting the same kind of, you know, gratification that somebody is when they just go get a soda or go get fast food, because you just planted the seeds back here, and now it's bigger, better quality paybacks.
Exactly.
All right, let me see what time we got. All right, here, 47 minutes already.
Wow.
I thought that I would keep this under, like, I was trying like a half an hour, but it's impossible. You get to talking.
It's good. You're going to edit it, right?
Yeah, I'm going to edit some stuff. Okay, so we already covered your Instagram handle. Abs
of Steel Fitness.
Abs of Steel Fitness. Books, got it. For Andy Frisella, got it. Okay. What's Abby's non-negotiable?
My non-negotiable, that's one thing or multiple things?
Sure. A couple. Whatever. Yeah. If you got a couple, let's hear it.
Okay. Well, I would say my non-negotiable is getting in my movement every day. Like some form of movement, right? Like
even on a recovery day.
Yeah. Like always, I think that's huge. Like when people say like, oh, well, it's my rest day. So like, I don't care. Like, you still need to go on a walk. Like, you still need to, your body loves movement. I'll feel like crap like when I don't. So like, that's an always. I never really miss on that. Even if I'm traveling the whole day, like I'm going to find some sort of way.
It's best.
Yeah.
It's best.
Honestly, so like lately it's been reading my Bible every day. Like that's been a non-negotiable. I wake up, I do that. And then like, it's funny because it's really the basics that I tell my clients. Like every single day I tell them like, what are the things that you can control? You can control your movement, your water, your protein. Like those are 3 things that are tremendously beneficial, but everybody looks at it like, oh, I can't control anything. It's like those things you can really control. So getting in some kind of movement every day, right? Maybe that doesn't look like your full intentful workout, but that could be a 30-minute walk. And then water, you can control your water. Like everybody can drink at least 100 ounces a day. And then something like protein, like people underestimate. I think protein's like a big buzzword. People know the importance, but then when it actually comes down to it, you know, they'll be like, yeah, I got protein in today, but are you looking at each and every meal and placing that first on your plate? Because that is what's going to help you stay more satiated, stay more full, and then actually help you listen to your hunger cues. When you might feel more hungry, that's probably because you haven't had enough protein today, or just in general, that's going to be the most important macronutrient in order for you to preserve.
That's all I track.
Yeah.
All I track is protein.
It's extremely important.
protein wise, what is your recommendation? I know it changes probably for weight. What is your gram?
How much?
Yeah, because I haven't looked into this in a long time, but 5 years ago when I looked into how much protein I should eat or intake, it was like anywhere from 1 gram per pound of body weight or 1.5.
It's for how like the research is going, and what I recommend to everyone is at least 1 gram per goal body weight. So say you were 150 pounds and wanted to be 170, then eat 170 grams.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And if you're, so for example, like if a person weighs 250, is extremely overweight and wants to be 150, right? They should be at least shooting for 150. You can go a little higher. Mine's a little bit higher, and there's no harm done. People think, oh, well, it's going to ruin your kidneys. Only if you have like a pre-existing kidney condition will that hurt your kidneys. But other than that, the only thing I would watch out for is like making sure you're getting enough fiber and water, because protein is the hardest macronutrient to digest. So if you don't get enough protein, you don't get enough water, you will get backed up. And people think
that's why I like to go. That's why I kind of like to do the intermittent fasting thing, because on those days that I intermittent fast, it's kind of a lean day where I'm not. I'm trying to hit my protein goal, but I may be not getting the fiber and all that stuff. So I know that when I hit my protein goal every single day, that's when the backed up factor comes in.
Yeah.
But I have to kind of like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have to stagger it a little bit so that I'm well balanced.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. People will blame things like protein powders and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay, well,
protein.
Listen to yourself. You had 3 scoops of protein with absolutely no fiber. Like that's why. Like don't blame the protein powder.
Yeah.
So
I realized for a long time I was like, dang, dude, it's just I was really just focused on the protein. I wasn't even realizing I wasn't getting any fiber because I'm terrible with fruits and vegetables.
Or just actually calories in general. People underestimate
calories too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just carbs and fat, and
because fats actually
help digestion.
And you don't realize that.
Yeah.
See, I'm always learning. I'm still constantly learning.
Yeah. No, it's fun. Trial and error. Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah. I've helped a couple of women who are eating extremely low calories who think, okay.
And they're just getting all that protein.
All the protein. They're like, well, shouldn't I be like, operating really well? I'm like, girl, you're bloated all the time. You can't poop. You can't sleep because you're just not getting enough fuel in your system. Like, protein is honestly probably the most important macronutrient because it's the only macronutrient that can break down to carbs and fats.
It's almost like we're saying that protein backs you up, but really what's backing you up is the lack of all the other nutrients that you need to be getting with it because you're so focused on protein.
Yeah.
So even if you hit 150 grams, versus not, I think if you just were getting the fiber and the fats and the carbs that you should be getting, you would be just not skipping a beat with that 150 grams.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, I think that's pretty much it, Abs.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't want to go too long and
whatever
do
you want.
too much editing.
Yeah, that's true. You have to edit more.
Well, but try to hire somebody for that if the budget fits.
Yeah.
Let me try to skim another and just make sure I got everything.
Yeah.
I think I did. Yeah, I did. Oh. You know what's cool about, I did say I don't know, some question about your generation.
You had a question about?
My question was,
I
make
this.
very condensed questions so that I can improv on them. But the way it's written down is your generation the best? What do you think about Gen Z? Are they fried? That's my kids' terminology.
Right.
You know what I like about your generation though? Is that most of your generation just naturally morphed into entrepreneurs.
Really?
Don't you think that?
Yeah.
I feel like because so many of you guys grew up watching YouTube and Instagram and seeing influencers and stuff, there was this natural gravitation to doing things like you do, or people YouTubing, whatever, or just natural entrepreneurs. It's kind of fascinating.
That is true. I didn't
Yeah.
really think about that. But there is a lot more opportunity to do whatever you want because of things also like AI and stuff like that.
Your cell phone. I mean, you got
exactly.
a laptop in your hand all day long, every day.
Yeah,
you know?
I literally work from my phone like all the time. Yeah. No, it is. It's pretty wild. I never thought of it like that. But yeah, like a lot of influencers, like it's crazy. Or like just content creation, like, creating content is but that does it takes a lot of work. I think people give it a lot of crap. I'm like, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah. I haven't even done it yet, but I already know. I know how long it takes me sometimes to create a reel. For a couple seconds because I'm like tripping out on putting a sticker and the music and should I use this template from TikTok? And that's why I want to hire somebody because I just don't want to do too much editing and
No, it's interesting because being an online fitness coach and starting my own business, I was like, I definitely like the best decision I ever made was get a business coach because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So they saved me so much time, so much energy, so much money. They were expensive, but I made the money back just like that. They were the best investment ever. But you don't realize how much you actually have to do until you do it. You're like, you're not just a fitness coach. You're a sales rep. You're a VA. You're assistant coach. Like you have to create a lot of it's marketing. A lot more of it's marketing than even coaching. It's like that's where you want to get to the point where you don't have to do the stuff you want or you don't want to do.
Right. For sure.
But it's interesting. Like it takes a lot more work than people think. So.
Yep. And being a business owner in any business owner nowadays takes 10 times more than it did 20 years ago. Because 20 years ago, I think of my dad when he had a business and my mom worked from home. She was like the secretary, she answered the phone. She had her little desk and she handled like just whatever came in the mail. Right. And that was it. Every so often my dad would print some shirts out and hand them out. Right. But now you think about what you're doing, what I do, we have to think about how we're going to create more content. Right. We have to edit it. We're on our phones doing emails, and then we got DMs. We've got multiple profiles. We've got you might have a website. I have a website. I have an SEO guy. Like it's a million things on my phone every day. Where like 20 years ago, it was just like little. Just
only one way.
You got an answering machine at the house, and you got home. You're like, okay, I get to go bid this job tomorrow. It's just crazy. It's crazy times now. And this is all just to stay competitive and stay relevant. You have to be. That's why I like entrepreneurship.
No,
that's why I focus so much on it. And that's why I do interviews like this. But anyways,
it's fun.
All right, Abs. Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Let me interview you. Abs of Steel Fitness, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.